Okay, somebody wanted to know more about Pindar, and Pindar sometimes does come through, and he talks through this body to you. Other times, he uses like his body double, which is Colonel Cliff Serene of the Men in Black, or sometimes he'll even pass notes to Sergeant Fogelis, who is also with the Men in Black. Generally speaking, um, somebody wanted to know how is he related to David Wilcox, talking about the liberation of planet Earth, apparently from the Empire of Draconis. And the answer, we're going to have to just get creative writing to exercise here. And let's see. So the idea is that if we all raise our consciousness to higher levels of consciousness, such as 540 unconditional love, then all of the old control structures will be exposed and hopefully removed so that we can be free to govern ourselves rather than by the New World Order. I don't know. Pindar doesn't want to say what his opinion is. He says, generally speaking, he told you a long time ago that he considers humans to be his pets. So you'll have to make of it what you will. But remember that reptilians, we're told by David Wilcock, reptilians are incredibly strong in telepathy and maybe telekinesis, but definitely telepathy so strong that they could get right into your mind with telepathy. You wouldn't have to give them permission. They could barge right in. Reptilians. And so, what else? So yeah, he would just, that's what he told us way back in those days, that he had superpowers. And he was basically telling Rumpelstiltskin, who had elf magic versus reptilian psychic powers. Well, the Draco Reptilian thought that he was superior to the elf. The elf did not concede the point, and we don't know to this day if one has stronger magic than the others. But everyone knows from Lord of the Rings that the elves are magic. And if you've ever dealt with a reptilian, you'll know that they have telepathy. Okay, so is there a liberation coming then from... at one point, David Wilcock said that President Trump, was going to be a white hat, and the alliance was going to work with him for the liberation of the planet. And the evidence was that they were going to go and free all the human slaves. Did that happen? Well, we're told by the controlled media nothing about this, so we don't know. And the alternative media is spotty, so we have to turn to the psychic people to get us a psychic reading on what people are thinking. And it gets to be very difficult, you know. Like Magenta Pixie is another one that talks about this liberation of the planet, and she says that it is for her book, which is kind of a fantasy novel. It's a fantasy novel of how we could go from a week ago to now using her plan, which would be inspired by like God. What's God for her? Well, like God, like the same kind of God like maybe they would have had in like the Middle Ages. So like ages of magic in the Middle Ages, like, I don't know, like 1150 AD, when they had castles and, you know, like that TV show Merlin that's on Netflix. So if you watch Merlin, like their ideas on what God would be in those days. And well, they would, I don't know. They had people who were druids who were totally magic. And the people that weren't magic, did they believe in some other kind of a god? I don't know, but it gives you a good idea of what I think people on planet Earth today think. Some people are magic. I've seen so much cool card trick magic on Instagram. It's unbelievable what people can do with card magic. So there's clearly there's magic people on the planet. Clearly. So with that assumption in mind, clearly there's other people that are not magical. And what's the whole point of this? It's simply you just have to keep watching in your own personal reality for things that make you think that magic could possibly used to create something like this. And then if you're kind of a pious religious person who goes to the church and maybe like goes to the church I don't know, a couple times a week, and knows the Bible off by heart, that kind of person, do they have the same kind of God? No. And as the druid, I don't know. You're trying to figure. It's very difficult with all these different ways of looking at human consciousness, the way people believe about a core belief as significant as whether God exists or not, and what is God, like a motherly God, or is God like it's like it's like a synonym of life itself. It's not, doesn't mean like, there's some long gray-haired man with a white beard, and that's like Kronos of Greece, or George Burns played an old man who was God in the movie Oh God. What do humans really think at their core is anything to do with these ideas of supernatural powers, or just the ability to create what already is here. How did this get to be here? Is evolution true? And why are people stupid when they say it's creation? And why did Dr. David R. Hawkins, the teacher of enlightenment, say creation is evolution, evolution is creation? And he was also talking about evolving your consciousness. In other words, you becoming more bright, more intelligent, evolving yourself to higher and higher levels of consciousness, which he said you should hit an unconditional love along the way to your path of enlightenment. And so how would that compare to what Monty Burns of The Simpsons would think about God? The only God around here would be Monty Burns' bank account. Okay, what else do we want to talk about? Well, nothing more about core beliefs, except that if your core beliefs about things are rotten, then you're going to have a distorted view of reality. And the whole point is, once you recognize, maybe I have got some dirty windows here, and maybe I should get some like glass cleaner Windex and spray them and get some of the grime off of the windows. By the same token, maybe I need, I don't know, someone. In French they would say un, like one. One could check to see if their own consciousness is being distorted by unknown factors, and the distortion is giving you a wrong view of reality. Or maybe it's just a mind trick by that Jedi that walked by.